Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video of advanced Facebook marketing for insurance agents. This also can apply to many different types of businesses. So if you are selling t-shirts, hamburgers, doesn't matter, this all applies to you. You just have to change it to your industry. I want to point out this is sponsored by agency MVP. So we're the world's first smart sales tool for insurance agents. If you have not seen it, guarantee you haven't seen anything like it. Go to our website, agencymvp.com. Click on the demo link at the top. If you're an agent, you're going to be using MVP or a technology like MVP in the next couple of years. I can guarantee that. It's also sponsored by the Insurance Think Tank group on Facebook. If you're an insurance agent, licensed insurance agent, definitely join our group. It's the only group built so far by successful insurance agents instead of the other failed agents who are really hustling people to make you pay for information that I'm about to share with you for free. So definitely, there's our link at the bottom here, Facebook groups, Insurance Think Tank. Check us out. So what I really want to do with this video, it's going to be a couple of segmented videos. This video is going to dive into how do I target my audience properly. And so let's dive in. First thing you want to do is keep it simple, okay? KISS. Targeting your audience, though, is everything. So first thing you're going to want to find out is who are you targeting? What I mean by that, are you going to target based on your carriers and your options that you have out there? Are you going to want to target affinity groups, college graduates, teachers, doctors, nurses? Find a group large enough where you can find, and they're pretty prideful, and they will react to an ad, right? So an example of that would be, hey, UT graduates, and you show like an image of a Longhorn or the school ensemble or a football game with Longhorns on it. Just, you're going to want to make someone in that group stop and want to react to the ad, or at least read your call to action. So that's what you need to do, is find those groups of people that are going to act, and then find an image that will make them react. And then your call to action, which is extremely important to getting them to act. Now, also know your carrier's appetite. As a captive agent, I really need to focus in on so my agency is a farmer's agency. It doesn't matter if most captive companies focus on a certain preferred segment. So you have confirmed homeowners, higher income levels, better income, better credit. Age of home kind of depends on your carrier, and occupations, that's where your discounts come in. So make sure you know who your carrier's target market is, and then also the zip code or county in where you are most competitive is extremely important. You don't want to do all of this time targeting people, getting quotes, when you're not really targeting the highest ROI places that your carrier is competitive. So doing those three things, figuring out who you're going to target, we're going to have the best success, people that are prideful, that will react, and using images to make them react, knowing where your carriers are competitive or where they want to do business, and then filtering your audience to making all of that come together. So let's dive into actually seeing it work. When I go into my ad, I'm going to go to Business Manager, All Tools, Audience Insights. So hopefully everybody knows how to create your own ad account. So I'm going to go to everyone on Facebook. Now from this custom audiences, this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time thinking about keeping it simple yet targeting the right people. So I'm going to go ahead and let's say we want to target healthcare professionals, doctors, and nurses. I'm going to go ahead and put in here Dallas County, or you know what, they won't do county for Dallas, they'll actually do the city, and then they'll do Tarrant County, which is the Fort Worth side of the DFW area. So you'll have to play around sometimes with locations. And then I want to do advanced search for work and healthcare and medical services. So that's my start. There's my location. These are the types of groups that I want to target. Now let's dial in on really who I should target. First thing I want to do, relevancy is everything, guys. If they're going to interact with your ad, that's what relevancy means. Are you relevant? are people interacting with your ad? I'm going to go to the Activity tab, and frequency of activities is extremely important. So right now I have 24 ad clicks, 24 post likes, and 15 comments. This is in the last 30 days. These people have done these actions. And also devices used. I want to know what primary device are they using. That's really important, because if I see that 97% of these people are on their phone, when I go to make my ad, I'm going to ensure that the mobile version is extremely on point, right? So that's really important to notate. Now, granted, most of the time you're going to have mobile, but this is pretty significant. So make sure you recognize that. Now, what I want to do with this frequency of activity is I want people to engage. And what you're going to want to notice is I'm going to start playing with the age range. So let's say actually nurses at age 30, between 30 and 64 is good for farmers. So I'm going to go to 64. Didn't really move the needle much at all. Now watch what happens. When I go to, instead of gender, all, when I go to women, I got a big increase in my comments and post likes and ad clicks. So now I want to move the needle a little bit more. Never mind, because I don't have very many people active. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And I look good to go ahead and start. I have a good idea of who my people are. Now, if I was doing a much bigger segment of the population and not a particular group, a very small group of people, let's say I was doing a giveaway ad, and maybe I was giving away Dallas Cowboy tickets. Instead of job title, I would have done more so of people who like interests, Dallas Cowboys. And then I would figure out who is going to react to my Dallas Cowboys ad. So it doesn't matter if you're selling a t-shirt. You have to first know who your target audience is, then dial into the people that are most likely to interact with your ad. I wouldn't do men, because that's going to get me half of the interactions that women do, right? So my biggest bang for my buck is women in the healthcare industry. Okay, so now I'm going to click Create Ad, use my ad creation tool. Now it's going to pop up. The nice thing about the Facebook is it's progressively getting better and better to where now you don't even need to do a landing page outside of Facebook. So I do not recommend doing any woohoo forms or any outside lead generation pages. And quite frankly, it's because when you get someone to leave Facebook, if they were on there and now they feel aggravated, like they don't want to fill out a form, why make them, right? Versus with the new lead generation system that they have, they just scroll down and most of the things on that form are going to already be pre-populated from the data that Facebook has, so they don't really have to do that much. Just answer a couple questions that you add. So I'm going to do lead generation. All right, so now that you're in your ad, if you're going to make multiple ad sets, which I highly recommend so you can find out what's really dialing in and turning the needle and getting you those leads that you need. So for example, you could do women, 30 to 64 is one of your ad sets. Then you could do all on another ad set and duplicate it. You're going to want to also click, whoops, we don't want to create. We want to click our agency. Something that other people teach is that you could create a secret page, Facebook page that drives all the actions so that you don't have to link it up to your Facebook page. They teach that way because if you want to use copyrighted images or videos or whatnot that you can disappear, they call it a ghost page. If you're going to do something illegal, I don't recommend doing it in the first place. So Facebook page, we got my saved audience in here that we created this from. I want to just point out a couple of things. Location wise, I would not have done this with my locations simply for the fact that I have about 20 to 25 zip codes that I really target in my area. But for the sake of ease, I'm not going to show off all my zip codes, obviously. I'm going to put in here 50-mile radius. And if you have Spanish speaking, this is a really big deal. Definitely, if you have CSRs or salespeople that can speak Spanish, put them in there. English, we're good to go. Now, targeting your audience. This goes back to the things that your carrier wants. Okay. So now when I'm inside here, I want to narrow my audience because they have to be a homeowner. Okay, so demographic is a homeowner. I want to exclude renters. We are not competitive with renters. Other things that you could do, since we are doing health and medical services in general, if you wanted to broaden it a little bit more and say doctor, the one bad part about the Audience Insights app before we got to this screen is you can't filter, unless somebody knows that I don't, by doctor. You can only pick healthcare and medical services. So you can add doctor if you wanted to. Also add, nurse. Here we have registered nurse as an interest. And so it could include one of these three things. Now, since we have already a pretty small audience, I'm not going to do anything further like income levels or, has children between the ages of, 2 and 4. Again, it all goes back to what is your ad? Who are you targeting, right? If I was giving away things for a teacher, I might put teacher here and do a giveaway for school supplies, or I might try to drive interest in whoever might like teachers. So you have parents who have kids, right? So that could be your demographic that you focus on. Help your teacher in your school win, a couple $100 worth of school supplies. And so I would filter it and try to focus on parents to help. People love to help people. Same thing with charities, food drives. Really, who is your target audience? Who are you going to emotionally attach with and get them to maybe do a giveaway or, whatever the case may be? Hopefully that all makes sense. And it's once you start to think about it and write it down, it becomes really simple. You're just really looking at people in general and then looking at behaviors of what would make somebody react and who are the people that would react and who are the people that my carrier would be competitive with and that I could write. So now I'm going to keep scrolling. You could save the audience. Placements. Everybody always recommends placements. But again, you have these failed agents who don't understand that we looked at activity. And those placements really happened on mobile devices. Okay, so I want mobile only. If I wanted desktop, I would have gone to people where they had much higher desktop relative, where things would happen and they would connect on desktop. But I don't want to waste that money. Every little bit helps. So I'm going to do mobile only for these people. All mobile devices. If you wanted to, you could do iOS. I wouldn't. It had a lot more activity, but you can exclude categories. Budgeting. How much money do you want to spend a day? Really, if you're testing out a good ad set, you may want to say, $10 a day to figure out of 3 or 4 different ad sets, different age ranges, male or female, homeowner income levels, house value, home value, because you can do a lot of different things. Like with browsing here, you can look at demographics of the home, what type of home. Are they first-time home buyers? Are they renters? What type of home type is it? Apartment, if you did want to search for renters, condos, multifamily dwellings. So there's all sorts of things you can do. You really need to click into this and realize how targeted you can get with Facebook. That's the real benefit with Facebook advertising, is showing your ads to specific people where they're going to interact with you. And they're the type of people that want to interact with your ad. Okay, so you really need to dive into all of this that's available. Schools, did they go to UT, right? You could filter by, hey, graduates, that could be your ad. of UT, you get an extra discount, or all sorts of things that you can think of that apply back to your carrier rates, interests, and who you're targeting. Okay. So daily budget, bid strategy, we really want to let Facebook optimize our bid strategy. Do not get into setting bid caps, target. Always set it up to where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck and allow them to target your ads. Okay. Run it by impressions. I'm not going to change anything else here. Just going to continue. For this, Facebook has been all over the place with live videos, show 'em videos, static images or no more. Oh my God, there's so many things that you can have to deal with. Right now, we're just going to do a single image, and I want to show you now images. So right now, the recommended specs for an image in Facebook on a mobile newsfeed is 1200 by 628. So something you can do, if you go to Google and I search doctors and nurse action, I didn't want a regular photo, one that's not very interactive, that isn't the day-to-day. You know, these smiling doctors here, that I don't think a doctor or a registered nurse is going to relate to this cheesy photo, right? They're in life or death situations, high impact, high energy. So that's the kind of photo I want to find. And you can go here to tools and put exactly, you know, we did 1200 by 600. If you get any more specific than that, you're going to lose a lot of the photos that are in there. And you want a photo that looks really good. It's very visible. It's clean. And I used this video. So I just right-clicked, save image as, and upload my image. Doctor. Open. There's my image. And so for me, I feel like if I'm a doctor or a nurse, we got a doctor here, we got some registered nurses. That's interesting to me. The color's cool. And when I'm scrolling, I'm gonna be like, oh, who are they cutting up? What's going on here? Right? So it gets me to stop versus a cheesy doctor holding her hair up, or, you know, that, no, that doesn't make me want to stop and act. So under the text part, I'm going to now give a call to action. So attention doctors and registered nurses. You save lives. The least we can do, the farmers, is save you an extra 10%. There we go. So click quote for 10% off. And then I'm going to change this to get quote. And what you want to do in your different ad sets is really try to find something that's going to resonate with people and getting them to click that get quote button and fill out your ad form. Facebook Pixel, I don't know why anybody that's an insurance agent really cares about Facebook Pixel when they're running these types of ads. I don't. Because if they visit your ad or if they visit your lead form and they don't fill it out in the first place, why would you want to keep retargeting them? That makes absolutely no sense. You know, if somebody's not going to act on your ad, why do you want to target them again and waste that money? Now, that's not to say if you are a local vendor, if you are a restaurant, or if you're selling something, that's not to say that maybe they visited your website and you want them to buy and convert the process. That's different. That's really different than insurance. Insurance is not, it's not tangible. It's almost, people think of it as a commodity when we know it's not. But if I was selling a commodity, I would use Facebook Pixel, right? So take it what you will. Some people argue with me. That's my opinion. There you go. No hassle, no spam, quick quote. Okay. So that's what I like. I think that will get me people to click on get quotes. And lead forms. So when you're filling out a lead form, you can create a new form. And what happens is when they're scrolling down, if they click on that get quotes, then this was my zoo form. Let's take a look at registered nurses. You deserve a discount. This is a previous one that we did. And it would pre-fill in their information now. And you could also add check boxes, so it's okay to text you. Definitely recommend to add that so that you can text them in any kind of texting services. We have that in MVP where you can text people. So if you get that approval, it just saves that you now have it in writing and you're TCPA compliant. But filling this information in is very critical. You want to not ask too much information, but for example, in Texas, a big discount for us is roof year. You might want to add roof year as a question, and then in another ad, remove roof year and see if your conversion rates increase because you didn't ask a certain question that might be too much, right? Because you can always ask that question later. As long as you have their email and cell phone number, you could always just text them and say, hey, got your request for a quote, thank you so much. One discount question I didn't ask was, how old is the roof on your home, right? So don't ask too much information, just enough though, where you're gonna get some conversions. Then we just click confirm. And away goes my ad. All right, so hopefully that helped you get some insight around audiences. What you really wanna do, okay, is do 3 or 4 different ads for the same group of people, and in each ad, target something different. And then whoever has the best conversion after, say, about 30, 40 bucks after a week of running, then you can kind of fine-tune the perfect ad, okay? Run that ad, don't waste too much money and time, and also don't make more than one change per 24 hours. It's very important. Don't make more than one change per ad in 24 hours, or Facebook will freeze you, and it will take a while for you to actually get your ads active again. Go to the Insurance Think Tank group, post copies of your ads in our forum, and get feedback from all of our users. We are definitely helpful. We can say, hey, that looks great. We recommend changing this. Why didn't you do this? Hey, you're brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. That's the entire point of the Think Tank group, is to collaborate. Good luck, and the next video will be coming out soon, which will be surrounding the different types of ads that you can place on Facebook.